All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us for our very first Sea Turtles virtual celebration. We're really excited to have you guys all here. There's going to be some people jumping on as we go along here, but we're going to get started now. We have a really fun evening planned for you guys. We have some really fun conversations. We have some videos for you. We're going to give a bunch of stuff away, and hopefully we're gonna raise a little bit more money. So this whole event is a fundraiser for our new Sea Turtle Inclusivity Fund, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is later. But we've so far have raised about 75% of our goal. We've had 60 or so people donate to the event, and then a number of people have made additional donations as well. So thank you so much to everybody who has donated so far. Zoe, can you do me a favor? Can you grab that link for the donation page and put it in the chat function here? So we are hoping to raise, the additional $1,200 or so tonight during the event or after the event. So as we're getting started, I have a few notes. I sent out some notes to folks earlier, but I will reiterate them here. One, we are recording this event, so we will send out a link to it hopefully tomorrow, but maybe early next week. We're going to be doing a few giveaways during the event. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. All of you guys that are attending are muted and we're not seeing your cameras and everything, so no need to worry about that. If you have questions or comments or anything to make, thank you for posting that, Zoe. During the event, any questions for any of our panelists, just hit that little chat function at the bottom and we will get to those questions. If you are able to make an additional donation to help us with that final $1,200, great. First thing I want to do is introduce our co-host, Zoe Paulsen. Zoe is a great friend of Sea Turtles. She is a certified life coach, author, and YouTuber, presently living in Toronto, Canada. She loves to create and share content on self-improvement, spirituality, and travel to inspire people to live their lives unapologetically and to the fullest. So Zoe, thank you so much for helping us co-host and welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brad. I'm so excited to be here. I have really enjoyed my experiences volunteering with Sea Turtles on a couple of the trips and fundraising for Sea Turtles. It's, yeah, passion of mine. I love them.
Great. So, so some of you folks, in fact, I see some of the folks that have joined us tonight were on our Kolola trip in, God, that was 2019. Feels like it was simultaneously 10 years ago and a month ago. But a really wonderful trip that we had to Mexico that Zoe joined us for. Zoe, just real quick. So when you first came across us, what was it that attracted you to Sea Turtles? How did you find us? How are we so lucky to have you in our world now?
Oh, thank you, Brad. It's actually interesting. I was on a flight. I was living in Italy at the time, and I was on a flight home for Christmas to British Columbia, where my family lives. And I was scrolling the in-flight movies and videos, and I came across the Planet Earth Cities documentary, and I watched it. And for any of you who have seen it, there's this scene where the sea turtles are hatching, and they get confused by the street lights and the moon, and they make their way up to the street, and I just broke my heart on the airplane. I remember I was bawling my eyes out. I don't know, something about flights make me very emotional. But when I got off the plane, I'm like, I have to do something about this. I have to donate. I have to volunteer. I have to do something. And then Sea Turtles was the first that popped up on Google. And from there, I reached out to Brad. And yeah, I've hosted a couple fundraisers and been a part of some trips, and also influenced with the new Enviro Kids cereal in the last year.
Yeah. I cry on flights too.
Yeah.
The slightest sappiest movie, and I'm an absolute mess. So
Yeah.
You're not alone. You're not alone on that. Well, great. Well, we're so glad that you found us, and it's good to hear that my marketing efforts to getting us on Google
For
are
sure.
working. So great. So Zoe's going to be helping us with some giveaways, with some tips on how you can help save turtles, and helping to moderate some of the questions and stuff. So I am going to now give a very short PowerPoint presentation on what is sea turtles. If you're not familiar with this, I think a lot of you probably are familiar with what we are, but just going to talk a little bit about what we do here. So I'm going to share my screen and do a very quick um, overview of our organization. So Sea Turtles, we were founded in 2008 by myself and Dr. Wallace J Nichols, who you will hear from here shortly. We started as a way to help sea turtle conservation projects benefit from travelers, visitors coming to their projects. And so we originally started as a project of the Ocean Conservancy, and then moved on to a couple of other organizations, and are now an independent organization. So we have a few different programs that we do. Actually, I should go over the agenda here real quick. So after we're done with this, we actually have a pre-recorded interview with Dr. Wallace J Nichols, or Jay. He wasn't able to join us for the live performance, so I will show an excerpted version of that interview. We're going to do a quick little tour of some of the nesting beaches that we support and work with, that a lot of you guys have helped us support through Billion Baby Turtles. We're going to have a conversation with researcher Alex Troutman about inclusivity in the sea turtle world. It's an issue that we care a lot about, and the reason that we're having this event. We're going to have a musical guest pop on, and we are going to talk about the turtle shell trade in Nicaragua and in other places with Jose Orteaga and Christina and Hal. Mixed throughout, we're going to do some giveaways. So if you paid for the event tonight, you're automatically entered to win in the giveaway. And then at the end of the night, we are going to do one final giveaway for everyone that's given during the event itself. So a little extra incentive. If you can open up your pocketbooks just a little bit more tonight and make an additional donation to help this scholarship fund, then you will be entered to win in the final giveaway. You don't have to be here for it. We will let you guys know. I'm going to go over the giveaway prizes here in a minute. So we were started as an organization to do conservation travel, what we call conservation travel. So going to places, working with sea turtles, helping to study them and helping to protect them, and benefiting the local communities and the conservation efforts. And we've run trips all over the world, including Costa Rica. You see that giant leatherback there. That one's from Costa Rica, as well as the hatchling there, which is my daughter, which you always see in all of my presentations. We also take people to Baja, like the one with the whale watching picture. We have a new trip to Galapagos, which was supposed to go in April. We postponed it to 2022. Hope some folks can join us there. What have we done with these trips? Well, we've helped more than 1,300 travelers work with sea turtles. In the process, have generated over $1 million for coastal communities and sea turtle conservation efforts. We've completed, our travelers have completed more than 5,000 volunteer shifts. That's actually wrong, not hours, shifts, helping protect sea turtles. We're the first organization to do conservation impact pricing. So we lay out on every trip how much goes to conservation and how much goes to local communities. And we've won a couple of awards for our work, which we're really proud of. And then just real quickly, we're going to be doing some new destinations for 2022. So keep your eye out in your email for that. Our Billion Baby Turtles program supports important turtle nesting beaches around the world. We provide funds so that community-based organizations can hire people to walk up and down the beach, protect the turtles, measure them, get the hatchlings into the water. And we're really proud of that program. We've so far have helped to save more than 4 million hatchlings. So I like to joke that we only have 996 million more to go to reach our billion hatchling goal. But we've given away more than $500,000 to more than 40 different projects around the world. We're really proud of that. And that's due to the support of so many donors like you guys that are on the call right now. We've helped to launch new programs with our funding. So very excited about that. Too Rare to Wear is another one of our programs. We work on the tortoiseshell trade. If you're not familiar with tortoiseshell, this is what it looks like. You may have seen it while traveling abroad. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a conversation later. But this program has had a pretty big impact. We've released 2 reports, one on Latin America and one worldwide on this trade. We've created award-winning guides on how to recognize these products. We've reached millions of people. We've provided a bunch of funding to different groups around the world to help reduce this trade in the places where it's most happening. And we have a very exciting new project that we're working on that will use artificial intelligence using a phone app to take a picture of something if you're traveling around. And if you're not sure what you're purchasing is tortoiseshell, this will tell you so that you can be sure to avoid it. So we're excited about that. That'll be coming out later this year. We also do sea turtle educational programs, including this event. We've done webinars. If you haven't checked out a podcast, we've done several episodes of our podcast. I have a new book out that I'm really proud of about what it's like to work with sea turtles. And then we have a whole school program that does field trips, and we do a school fundraising contest every fall, except for last fall, of course. So that's the, and I'm sorry, and then of course the Sea Turtle Inclusivity Fund. So this will help students that are Black, Indigenous, or people of color to be able to advance in the sea turtle world. And we'll talk a little bit more about why we need that and what that is. But it's a brand new thing that we've launched, and we're going to be giving away our first scholarship this year. And so we're very excited about that. And like I said, this is an issue that we're passionate about and really want to help move the sea turtle community forward with diversity and inclusivity. So here's our information. I will show that again later, but follow us on social media, email me with any questions. So, okay, I'm going to stop that and bring myself back. All right, here I am. So I'm going to stop talking here pretty soon, but I wanted to talk a little bit about these giveaways as well. We have some really fun stuff to give away to people who have donated to this effort. So one is, I was showing this a little bit earlier, a box of Turtle Splash cereal, one of our favorite partners, Nature's Path. We are on this box. My daughter's inside this box, or her picture at least. Every purchase of this helps save sea turtles around the world, about 100,000 hatchlings a year just from this cereal. So you've probably seen Nature's Path. They have like cheetah chomps and panda munchies, or a whole bunch of different products with animals and things. And so if this isn't in your supermarkets now, well, hopefully we'll be there soon. Another one of our favorite sponsors is Endangered Species Chocolate. One of my favorite sponsors, not only because they're very supportive, but they also give chocolate, which is always wonderful. So we have some chocolate bars that we will give away from them, and then some stuff from our online store, an ID card, how to tell turtles apart, some hatchling postcards, a metal straw so you don't have to use the plastic straws, a little marble turtle, a mask so you can keep your safe with turtles on your face, a flag, a pretty fun sea turtle flag will be in the gift pack as well. And then the newest thing we have in our online store, this is pretty fun. This is a dog leash. So why would a sea turtle conservation organization sell dog leashes? Well, this is made from recycled fishing gear taken out of the ocean. And this is one of the biggest problems for sea turtles is fishing nets that break off or get lost at sea. They keep fishing turtles and other things, even though there's no fishermen there to catch them. So we're working with a project called the Olive Ridley Project to help sell these. And this is helping support community development in Pakistan, supporting sea turtle conservation in places like the Maldives. And so if somebody wins a giveaway, pack and they don't want that stuff, they'd rather have a fun leash, then we will offer that as well. So we'll follow up with the winners afterwards and figure that stuff out. So moving on, because we got a lot to cover. So the So we're going to do the first giveaway here shortly. But so just remember, if you give during the event, you get entered in the last giveaway. But you're already entered if you've given so far. So I am now going to bring up the pre-recorded video of our co-founder, Dr. Wallace J Nichols. Always a really fun interview. So I am going to do that here. Let's see. Why am I not seeing? This is the first time we have done an event like this, so please excuse any kind of little technical hiccups that I'm not seeing here. I know what I'll do. I will share my desktop and then make the video big. Let's see. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. One second. All right. So, okay, I'm here with Wallace J Nichols, or Jay as we call him, as he likes to be called. Is a marine biologist, water lover, turtle nerd, embarrassing dad, and creator of useful words. He's the originator of Blue Mind and wrote the New York Times bestselling book Blue Mind, which we have signed copies of in our online store. He's also the co-founder and former board member of Sea Turtles, and the whole concept of this project was originally Jay's idea. So we wanted to have a little chat with him about that and his background and what he's doing now. So how's it going, Jay?
Good. If you don't know how to spell my name, I wrote it down for you right there.
We'll send that out too to make sure everybody's clear. So you're a lifelong turtle nerd.
Totally.
How far back does your interest and love for turtles of all kinds go?
I think like a lot of kids, I loved mucking around in the creeks and flipping rocks over, and probably in retrospect, harassing wildlife a little bit, because you're just curious and you're a kid and you just grabbing insects and catching frogs, but I always loved turtles for some reason. I just loved their shape. I loved thinking about them. And we used to catch snapping turtles in the Chesapeake Bay as kids. And when we caught them, we'd paint numbers on their shells and throw them back. And then sometimes you recapture a turtle and had a number. And so I would do this simple math and trying to figure out how many, basic algebra to try to figure out how many turtles were in the Chesapeake Bay. And I love math too. I love turtles and math. And that was like, it was play. It was, I dreamt about it. I had like turtle equations in my dreams. And as far as science goes, it was really terrible. We didn't really figure out how many snapping turtles were in Chesapeake Bay, because there's some serious methodology problems. But I literally dreamt about mark recapture research as a kid before I had any idea that people actually did that. We were just messing around, catching turtles and putting numbers on them and letting them go. And then like 10 years later, I find myself in graduate school doing mark recapture research on sea turtles in Mexico. So it's pretty nice when your passion and your form of play as a kid turns into your job.
So one of the main things that you've done in your career working with sea turtles is working with the black turtle, the subspecies of green turtle that lives in the Eastern Pacific, primarily in Mexico. That story, I think, is one of the best in all of sea turtle conservation, with the work of you and dozens of organizations and thousands of people across Mexico. Can you talk a little bit about how you got into that work and how that recovery effort has been going?
Yeah, so when I started studying sea turtles in Mexico, the black sea turtle was critically endangered. In fact, everybody said it was too late. They were, just not gonna make it. It wasn't worth the time. But a bunch of us, small group of Mexican colleagues and American colleagues, we decided to dig in and give it a shot, even if it was just futile, even if we were just riding, the conveyor belt to extinction. We weren't going to go out without a fight, and somewhat naively, I guess you could say. But I think, looking back on it, that everybody had kind of given up, and that the funders weren't funding it, kind of gave us this opportunity to be a little more experimental. We were a little bit under the radar, and now the experimental approach that we took back then is considered the right way to do things. It's very mainstream. And what we did was, in addition to really world-class science research on migration and growth rates and what the turtles eat and their genetics and all those kinds of things, we built the whole program as a community-based effort. So we never released a turtle with a satellite transmitter without the whole community out on the beach cheering, naming the turtle, tracking the turtles. Sometimes the people who were putting the transmitters on the turtles were turtle poachers themselves, or turtle hunters, probably a better term than the word poacher. But the men and women who were eating the sea turtles to extinction were also the ones involved in studying them, and their kids would come and join us. And it was very, I would call it full immersion conservation science. And that was not a popular approach back then, because you were supposed to be unbiased and kind of distant and an outsider, and kind of stay away from the personal side of things. But that doesn't work. That was my impression, was, really as a problem solver, how do we make sure these animals don't go extinct? Well, science alone won't do it. Laws alone, there already were great laws on the books protecting turtles. They didn't work. There's never going to be enough money for enforcement, ever. Like, just never going to be in the budget to spend millions of dollars on enforcing the turtle laws. So the only approach that works is working with people, changing hearts and minds and understanding, getting a lot deeper into that aspect. And most scientists aren't prepared to do that. It's just, to be honest, and it's no fault to them. They went to graduate school and studied molecular genetics, not human behavior change. But then they find themselves in the behavior change business. The molecular genetics is cool for a few scientific publications. It might give us some guidelines about what to prioritize, but conservation is all about behavior change. And so we took that part very seriously from the beginning. We built this very robust network of community leaders, small nonprofits, churches, pastors or priests, educators in the schools, business people, scientists, of course, politicians. Anybody who wanted to help make sure the black turtle didn't go extinct was invited, including the turtle hunters. And so that approach worked. Well, it worked. I mean, there was skepticism for decades, but now it's pretty clear the black turtle is still around. And as you know, in visiting the beaches, first time I went to the beaches in Michoacan to see them nest, you could walk and walk and walk and try to find a turtle. You would find one. And nowadays, you can take 2 steps and you trip over one. And it really has gone from hundreds of nesting females to tens of thousands, and in the past several decades. And it isn't just because of scientists, it's because of this very robust network that's very inclusive. And it's kind of ridiculous to think that was considered a new idea ever, or unacceptable or unfundable, but it was. And now nobody rolls their eyes when you say we need to involve the communities in our work. They say, of course. And that's exciting. And I think it is I think it is a little bit of an unsung success story, or at least it's emerging as one.
Speaking of working with communities, the idea of this organization of sea turtles, SEE turtles, was your idea as a way to help local communities get involved with and benefit from sea turtle conservation. Where did you come up with that idea? What made you think that that would be that tourism could be a tool for conservation?
Yeah, I think, we'd seen over the years that when people visited a turtle beach, they really enjoyed it. And if they left a few dollars behind, it was really helpful for the community, for the people working in turtle conservation, and also the turtles, who moved us towards our goals. And that could be done well, or it could be done very poorly. And so the idea, that when you and I founded Sea Turtles, was to take the best practices, really fine tune them, and figure out, there isn't one best practice for every beach, but to kind of look at that, to look at the places where there was some conservation urgency, and then to kind of build a portal that if somebody just went online and said, I want to see turtles, hence the name, that we would be the first place they would go. If they said, type, I want to see turtles, or I want to see sea turtles, they would come to seeturtles.org, and we would help them.
The work that you've been doing over the last few years is around a concept that you originated and named called Blue Mind. Can you talk about what that is, and how it's powerful for people, for your brain, for your health, and how people can incorporate this concept into their lives?
The basic idea is very intuitive. It's a very familiar concept, but I just put a name on it. That feeling everybody gets when they're on a turtle beach releasing a baby turtle. That's Blue Mind. That's the feeling of connectedness and calmness, and you're not staring at your phone, you're not staring at a screen, you're not in traffic, you're not overstimulated. You're just in that really sweet spot where you feel like the best version of yourself, where you're serving a species that needs it. You're helping a community, you're with a group of cool people. You're outside under the stars, or listening to the surf, and all of it. It smells good, it tastes good, and it feels right. You're moving your body, you're in the water, you're near the water. And I just wanted to understand that feeling as a scientist. And I went looking for this book. I wanted to read it, I wanted to study it, then I wanted to apply it to our turtle work. And then when I went looking for the book, I couldn't find it because nobody had written it yet. Yeah. And then I tried to convince people that they should write it, and I failed. And then by default, I ended up writing it. 5 years later, got it published. And since then, I've been trying to share the concept with teachers and nurses and doctors and therapists and conservationists and anybody who will pay attention for 5 minutes. I'll gladly blab about it. But it basically is the idea that if you're in this thing we call red mind, which is the opposite of blue mind, where if you're distracted and stressed and anxious, which everybody is right now, by the way, get to the water and just chill, sit in the water, paddle in the water. And you're a kayaker. If you're having a bad day, you get in the kayak and the day is better. I'm not going to say it solves all your problems, but it puts things in perspective. If your brain is feeling fried and you feel like you're approaching burnout, if you go on a little turtle trip, you're going to avoid that burnout. I guarantee.
All righty. Well, that was a snippet of Jay's interview. Like I said, we talked a lot more. I cut a lot of that out because Jay's a talker and loves to get deeper into these subjects. We will send out the whole video as well because we cover a lot more ground, and I think it'd be pretty interesting for people. So I got one more video to share with you before we go to our live interviews and we do our first giveaway. Oh, and we have our first visit of my cat of the evening. I knew it was going to happen at some point. I may have another one jump up here behind me. They love the Zoom screen. They seem to know. Um, so we've had a bunch of donations so far already, which is wonderful. Yay, thank you so much. We'll update that here in a minute. But one thing that I thought would be fun to do with this event is give people a little tour of the nesting beaches that we work with, because I send out a lot of information about them. We post about them on our social media. We visit some of them on some of our trips. But, Billion Baby Turtles is our biggest program. We work with projects around the world. And, so many people have donated to it. We donated to our emergency fund last year, which really helped a lot of projects get through the pandemic. So I'm going to share just a short video of some of the projects from around the world. You'll see some of the beaches and the people that we work with. Please note, not all the video was the same quality. So, some of it may be a little tough to hear, a little tough to see. Not everybody's an English speaker, but I'm going to show that video and then we'll be right back. So again, give me a second. Go to my desktop.
My name is Kate Charles, and I work with Ocean Spirits here in Grenada. This is Libera Beach, a major nesting site for leatherback turtles. Billion Baby Turtles has helped us launch our hospital program, and through their efforts, we've been able to protect leatherbacks in hospitals here since 2017.
Hi, I'm Bayu. I work with Turtle Foundation. We have been working with sea turtles to combat illegal turtle shell trade in Indonesia. And for the past 2 seasons, Billion Baby Turtles has provided funding for 2 new beaches that we are protecting that are home to nesting green and leatherback turtles.
Hi, my name is Eduardo Altamirano. I am the coordinator for the Sea Turtle Conservation Project managed by Latin American Sea Turtles Association. The program takes place in the small rural community of Pacuare, located in the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, where we are lucky to observe 3 species of sea turtles nesting every year. In fact, Pacuare is a critical nesting habitat for leatherback, green, and hawksbill turtles, but is under direct threats of erosion and illegal harvest. The Billion Baby program has been supporting our conservation effort since 2015 to reduce the impact of illegal harvest as well as the illegal killing of nesting females. We are very thankful for this crucial help and the trust that the Billion Baby initiative has granted us over the year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carlos Delgado of the University of Michoacán. Baby Billion Turtles and Sea Turtles has been supporting our nesting beach project that we run in partnership with Nahuatl people in Michoacán since 2013, donating $50,000 to support the local community efforts to protect Black sea turtles. Thank you.
My name is Alvin Rodriguez, and I'm a recent graduate of the University of Puerto Rico in La Guadilla, currently working as a restoration technician for the Center of Conservation and Ecological Restoration of the UPR, also known as Vida Marina. Billion Baby Turtles has been supporting our efforts to protect leatherback, hawksbill, and green sea turtles since 2018. starting with a grant to help us recover from the effects of Hurricane Maria, which was crucial to help us get back on our feet. They have also been providing us with grant funding to help us maintain our project on the western side of the island. Thank you, Brad, for all your support.
Hi, I'm Amy Inoguchi of Everlasting Nature of Asia. Billion Baby Turtles has provided important support for a project in Indonesia that protects hawksbill and green sea turtles. Thank you to everyone who has donated to help us save sea turtles.
Okay, I am back. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour of just a sampling of some of the nesting beaches that we have worked with. So just take a quick look at the little chat thing. What is Jay's name? I see one person asking. That is Dr. Wallace J Nichols. Jay is his middle initial, but his dad was Wallace, and he's always gone by Jay, so we just call him just a little Jay. But yeah, leader in the sea turtle world, author Blue Mind, and co-founder of Sea Turtles. So, all right, Zoe, I think you are on. Let's do your tips and the giveaway and stuff.
Yes, sounds great. Okay, so which first, Brad? Tips or giveaway?
Let's do the tip first and then the giveaway.
Okay, so our first sea turtle tip of the evening is to say no to plastic. Sea turtles and other ocean life mistake plastic as food and ingest it. An estimated that more than 100 million marine animals die each year as a result of eating or getting entangled in plastic. So avoid using disposable plastic bags, bottles, and skip the straw. And you can watch our recent webinar about sea turtles and plastic and check out this article. We will link it in the chat of how to reduce your own plastic use. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Okay, and so now we're ready for our first giveaway. Real quick, where are we on donations? How close are we to our goal now?
We are getting so close. Thank you to everyone who is donating right now. I'm just refreshing it, and we've raised $4,333. The goal is $5,000.
All right. Yeah, we're getting close. So we were at about 3,500 before the event. So that's quite a bit, even just in this last not even an hour. So wonderful. All right. Well, let's do our first giveaway.
Okay, awesome. So I've put everyone into this magical spinning wheel of names, and let me pull it. Share a screen here.
Do I need to? Can you share? Or do I need to give you?
Oh, yes. You'll need to give me some controls.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. Make host. There we go. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad. And okay, here we are. You can see it?
Yes.
Spinning wheel of names. Here we go. So this is everyone who entered, and the people who are donating in real time while the webinar is happening again, that's for a separate prize as well. Alicia.
Yay. All right.
Congratulations.
Great. All right. And thank you. Just a quick thank you to Ego Viva, which is an organization that we've worked with, for sharing this idea with us. This is a lot of fun. Great. And so, Alicia, we will follow up with you after the event. And then, so, okay. So now can you give me the host thing back?
Yes. Let me see.
And Alex, are you ready to go?
Oh, did that work, Brad?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I think it did. All right, great. Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad that you can join us. So I first came across Alex on Twitter. He's a really fun follow on Twitter. If you're on, we'll send out his handle to follow him. Alex has a real joy for nature, and that really comes across in his social media. So Alex is a wildlife biologist and environmental educator with a passion for sharing and immersing the younger generation into nature. He has a bachelor's degree from Georgia Southern University, 2014. He's currently pursuing a master's degree in conservation biology from GSU. He knows what it feels like to grow up not seeing anybody who looks like you doing your dream job. So he makes it a point to be that representation for the younger generation. You know, when we decided that we wanted to start the Sea Turtle Inclusivity Fund, you know, it was around when the recent racial justice protests and everything here, and we decided that we just put up supportive stuff on social media, but we wanted to go further than that. We didn't want to just show that we support inclusivity in this world. We wanted to really do something about it. So we've launched this Sea Turtle Inclusivity Fund. What that will do is help students who are college students who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color to go and do field work with sea turtles, because that's a really important way to be able to advance your career in this field. But what ends up happening in a lot of places is that people have to pay to go volunteer, at least the travel and work for free. And that really excludes a lot of people from being able to do that. So we launched this scholarship to be able to cover those travel costs, and so that somebody cannot forgo a summer of earning income while trying to advance their career. So Alex is an advisor to the program as well. He also wrote a tremendous blog post for us that I will send out as well about what it's like being Black in sea turtle conservation. So Alex, first, thank you so much for being an advisor to our fund, for writing the blog post, and for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So tell us about how you first got introduced to nature and got interested in biology and studying and teaching about this stuff.
Yeah, so I grew up, I was actually very fortunate, and I was able to go fishing with my dad, uncles, and brothers. So that's kind of how I got there. And I would always be like amazed by the great blue herons that was fishing right beside us, or seeing the red-tailed hawk flying over. That's like my spark bird. So just seeing that red tail and having the sun like shine through that red, and it was just like so beautiful. So that kind of like always got me into nature. And then like in terms of like went from like admiring nature to like being on sports teams and getting in trouble or getting close to being hit by the ball, because I was more intrigued by the ants and insects that were crawling over the field than actually paying attention to what was going on about during the sporting event. So that switched from now being old enough to actually cut grass, and then taking hours to cut the grass. Like we only have like a quarter acre, but I would take an hour or more to cut it, because I was trying to see what was running away from the lawnmower, looking for the snakes and the frogs that are hopping away, instead of just straight cutting the grass. So that kind of is how I got into nature. And then like growing up, I knew I wanted to do something with wildlife, but I wasn't exactly sure what that was. Like I admire Jeff Corrin and Steve Irwin, and like I knew I wanted to do something along that line, but there was no one that actually looked like me that was doing that. Most of the people who looked like me that worked with animals were either vets, or if I went and visit like down in the country, they were farmers. But up in where I was from, everyone was vets. So I thought I would do that for up until freshman year freshman year college. And then I realized like the high depression rates for vets. So I switched my major and decided to be a middle grades education minor in biology. But that didn't last long because I took a field biology course. It was actually ornithology. And I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Like being outside, like listen to the birds, looking for them, and then study them was just like breathtaking to me. I was like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make being a wildlife biologist work no matter what. So I switched my major back to biology and went through college and got my degree in biology. So that's kind of like my start into the love for nature.
That's great. Well, we're glad you didn't get injured playing baseball, getting distracted by the nature around you. So tell us a little bit about your experience with sea turtles. Where have you worked? What kind of research have you done on these animals?
Yeah, so like my first experience with sea turtles started out at the Georgia Aquarium. I was an educator there, so I would educate about the green sea turtle at the Georgia Aquarium tank. He's a massive turtle there. So I would spend most of the time talking about him because I just like how like nonchalant he was floating around the enclosure. So I did that for for almost a year. Then I accepted a position with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service up in Wisconsin and did that for a year. And then I finally got my big break with sea turtles when I accepted a job with the National Park Service down at Padre Island National Seashore. So my position, we were mostly focusing on nesting Kemp's Ridley sea turtles. So they're the smallest sea turtle species, and then they're critically endangered. I mean, a cool little fact about them that they're one of the only species that like nest during the daytime. So my job down there as a sea turtle biologist was to ensure that when they were nesting safely, Texas, the beach is considered a roadway in the Constitution, so people can drive on the beach. So obviously we don't want people hitting these turtles. So we were there to make sure that they were able to nest and re-enter the water safely without any problems. And then secondly, like since they are critically endangered, we did collect the nests and protect them. So we would take them to either an incubation room, or if we were farther down island, we would put them in a natural corral so they can hatch on natural premises without like predators. So we had basically a giant tennis court that was filled in with sand to protect them from predators. So we ensured that they nested. And then our second job was to protect any sea turtles that were stranded, whether it was from them getting sick or injured from natural predators, but also human caused problems like fishing gear, nets, plastic. So we were responding to any stranded sea turtles. So I did that for a little over 2 years, and then later on I went and got a position as an endangered species observer and protected sea turtles from dredging operations. So making sure that the turtle exclusion device was operational when dredging ships were digging up sand or deepening channels, just to ensure that they were safe and they weren't taking any sea turtles. So that's a little bit about the research and my sea turtle experience.
Okay, wonderful. So for those of you out there who don't know what a turtle excluder device is, it's basically like a sort of an escape hatch, usually used on fishing nets, like shrimp nets, things like that, where if the turtle gets caught, it can escape out while the fishermen still catch their shrimp and those kinds of things. So Alex, tell us, what kind of initiatives are you working on now to help make the conservation and biological research community more inclusive?
Yeah, so a couple things that I am doing like on my own. Like one is I'm a Sofano fellow, so Costa family. He's an ecologist and also author. That his foundation have given me funds to conduct my graduate research, but also for community engagement. So I'll be using those funds to not only like encourage younger generation to like pursue and enjoy the outdoors, but first of all, you have to like introduce them to it. So many other kids that I work with are in the city. So I want to like pretty much like bring nature to them. So giving them different programs, and once we're back safe from COVID, I'm actually having us all meet outside and show them like what's around them and what we can do. And then secondly, as like collective, I'm a part of different Black and X organizations. So some that I'm part of, Black and Marine Science Week, Black and Mammalogy, and Black Birders Week. So Black and Marine Science Week, it's basically a week that was started to like highlight and amplify Black voices in the field and encourage the younger generation. But also we want to like continue to like shed light on the lack of diversity that's in the marine science and help to work to increase it. And all of these weeks were kind of brought about through like the incident that happened with Christian Cooper and George Floyd, where Christian Cooper was a birder in Central Park, and basically a white woman called the police on him and lied and said like he was threatening her and her dog because he told her to put her dog on a leash since she was in an area that was required for her dog to be on a leash, and she basically just went dramatic and threatening him and having the police called on him. And that same day, like George Floyd was actually killed by the police officers. So we were kind of just want to highlight like this isn't like an isolated incident. Like Black and other people of color are not really able to experience the outdoors in the same way that many of our white counterparts are. We're not able to all the times go out to look at birds without someone questioning if we belong, or maybe if we're going to look at birds, we have to take protective measures of always having our ID on us, not wearing a hoodie so that we don't look sketch or we don't look like we're not belong. Like even when I'm conducting research down in my research area, my field site, like I still have to like be as friendly as possible, like I belong, even though like no one should be coming up and bothering me while I'm conducting research. But I still have to look as friendly as possible. So all these weeks were just to highlight like we are not able to do the same things that our white counterparts are without being harassed. But we also want to highlight and amplify that we are out here, and there's others like you. There's other Black people and people of color that are out here in these fields, in the marine science field, in the mammalogy field. If you want to be here, like we're here, and then next we're also reclaiming these areas. Like it's for everyone. So nature is for everyone. Marine science is for everyone. So we all should be able to have the same opportunities and funding to be able to pretty much like break through in this field, do the job that we want to do, pursue the dream that we want to dream and pursue. So we're trying to create the perfect opportunity for that.
Wonderful. Well, that's great. Yeah, it's been really fun to follow all these different weeks. Every single week, there's another another week of Black and different sciences, and it's been so fun to follow, so fun to see folks like you, like Carly Jackson, who's another advisor to the program, really grow your profile and become leaders in this field. So we're running a little late on time, but Alex, that was really wonderful. Again, thank you so much for your your leadership on this and your support for this fund, and we look forward to working with you for years to come on these issues.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm definitely looking forward to all the great work that we're going to. It's fun.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. All right. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, now we are going to go to our musical guest of the evening. Ellen, can you bring yourself up?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Hi.
Excellent. Hi, Brad. How are you?
I'm good. So Ellen is our surprise musical guest. Um, Ellen Mcneal, I love your bio, by the way, was voted most likely to save the rainforest in middle school. Yay. And spent the last 7 years working in travel, human rights, nonprofits, and the startup world before pursuing the tug of her heart towards music. While she's detoured from direct conservation work in the current stage of her career, it remains a top priority and passion. Ellen joined us for the same Kolola trip that Zoe was on and some of the other attendees and folks, and has also been working with us to help with our conservation travel program. So if you recently took a survey on our tours, that was Ellen's work helping us with that to figure out how to improve our trips and everything. And so Ellen has a lot of talent in a lot of different areas, and currently in the birthplace.
Survey girl. That's me.
And she's currently in the birthplace of American jazz, and is going to play a song for us. So Ellen, take it away.
Thank you, Brad. I very thankful to be here and be the musical guest today, and just want to say that the work that you all do in the marine biology fields and the work that Sea Turtles does continues to astound me, and the impact that you guys have is beyond me. So thank you for everything you do. I'm going to play you guys a song, an original that I wrote. Unfortunately, I don't have any songs about sea turtles yet, but I do have a song about falling in love, and I feel like that relates to a lot of the discussions and the stories that we've had, understanding how we all came to be on the Sea Turtle Gala, this online community, and the discovery of falling for nature and falling for sea turtles. So this one is called Falling, and here we go. Thank you. And if at any point you can't hear me, throw it in the chat. I'll turn it up. I've been wandering in a straight line, holding my own and biding my time. I'm moving, I'm breathing, I'm moving, on staying strong. And my soul, it is a little tired. My heart is beat, my faith's been tried, but I'm still here. I'm moving on, I'm breathing on, staying strong. And then I met you. You've got me dreaming. You've got me seeing the world in a rose tint. You've got me falling, and I'm falling for you, and I'm falling so high, high. You've got me falling, and I'm falling for you, and I'm falling so far. And before my world, it was a little gray. Monochrome memories fade my hours away. Now your color is seeping through. Bright like a sunrise, ocean blue. And my walls are down, my guard's on hold. You're waging a war, and my only fault is I let you in. Oh, I let you in. When I met you, you've got me dreaming. You've got me seeing the world in a rose tint. You've got me falling, and I'm falling for you. Yeah, I'm falling so hard. No, 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 you've got me falling, and I'm falling for you, and I'm falling so far, and time just slips away when I'm with you, and I'm savoring this kiss. It's all I can do. I know it won't last a lifetime. Just moments of yours and snapshots of mine. But you've got me falling, and I'm falling for you. I'm falling so far. No, no, you've got me falling, and I'm falling for you, and I'm falling so far. Thank you.
That was tremendous, Ellen. Thank you so much. You have such a wonderful voice.
Thank you so much.
That was great. And there was an ocean blue line in there. So
I got you.
yes. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Ellen. If we have time, we'll bring you back at the end here for one more song as we wrap up. But thank you so much for joining us and all your help with our trips and everything.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Okay, Zoe, can you come back? We've got another tip and another giveaway.
Yes, and just absolutely incredible, Ellen and Alex. It was so great to hear more of your story. So thank you for sharing.
Yes.
And our next tip is to help make the sea turtle community more inclusive by donating to our Inclusivity Fund. So I've been dropping a link in the chat. If you guys haven't seen, thank you so much to everyone again who is donating in real time while we're all here together. It's so appreciated. And I'm going to refresh once more and give you guys another total check. So we are presently at 4,454 out of 5,000. So thank you so much to everyone who is donating.
Okay.
And I will share screen again, and we'll do another fun giveaway with the Wheel of Names. Let's see here. All right. Oh, and Susan B.
All right. Well, congratulations, Susan. So like I said with Alicia, we will follow up with you after the event for your prize. Congratulations. So wonderful. All right. Well, now it's time for our final interview of the evening. We're going to try to wrap this up by 6:30 Portland time, so that should give us enough time. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. This should be another fun conversation coming up. So if Jose and Hal and Christina can bring yourselves up, we will start our conversation. So we are now we're going to talk about the turtle shell trade and a few kind of other topics. So just a real quick in the way of introductions. Jose Orteaga is a marine biologist finalizing his PhD at Stanford. He's worked in sea turtle conservation for about 20 years, working on environmental education and working on the trade of sea turtle products. Particularly interested in conservation approaches that consider local communities' needs and help to build sustainable and equitable solutions. He has been a board member of Sea Turtle since we started, and we've really enjoyed having him aboard and all of his great advice and counsel. We also have Hal and Christina and their cat.
Bobby. This is
Bobby.
Bob.
This is Bobby. Okay. Hal and Christina are the founders of Travel for Wildlife, an award-winning responsible wildlife tourism site, and we'll send a link out to that as well as their newest venture, Truly Wild, a sustainable clothing company dedicated to wildlife conservation. Their favorite things are visiting the Kalahari, planting native plants, and cuddling with Bobby there, as is very obvious. Yes, good timing, Bobby. Christine is also a board member of Sea Turtles. She's a zoologist and really helpful in terms of how we run our trips, making sure that we're not abusing the sea turtles that we're working to protecting. Hal is also a wildlife photographer, and so those of you who have been following sea turtles have definitely seen his work in terms of all of our promotion and everything. So thank you guys both for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
All right. So Jose, let's start with you. How long have you been working on the turtle shell trade, and what is it like there in Nicaragua where you live?
Well, as you mentioned, and first let me say that this is amazing. I really enjoy it. This is one of the most fun webinars I've been part of. So congratulations for that. I'm really enjoying this, and yeah, all the presentation and speakers that have been before are great. Yeah, so I've been working in marine turtle conservation since early 2000s in Nicaragua. Yeah, one of the most important issues for conservation in places as Nicaragua and developing countries is extractive use, right? People over collecting sea turtle eggs for the consumption of turtle eggs, or the hunting of turtles, as Jay was explaining with the black turtles in Mexico, for the consumption of meat. And in addition, it was this big issue with hawksbills, right? There is a massive trade, illegal trade of sea turtle, of hawksbill jewelry in Nicaragua, and it is a complex issue because it starts in the coastal communities where people hunt the turtle to extract the shell for subsistence, to sell it, to get some income, but then in the cities where people is demanding those products, right? And so we knew that to save the turtles, we need to address those issues integrally, working with people in the cities and working with people in the coastal communities. But it's a long fight.
Yeah, absolutely. What we found working with you and a lot of partners in Nicaragua, that it's one of the biggest hotspots for these products on the entire planet. But it's great to see folks like Fauna and Flora International launching a new campaign there to try to help reduce that trade, because there's not a ton of hawksbills left in Nicaragua, and they have a lot of very important functions. They help coral reefs survive, they help coastal ecosystems. They're really important animals. So we brought Hal and Christina into this conversation because we sent them to help us record the trade. If you've seen any of our videos on the tortoiseshell trade, that was by you guys. So we sent you to Nicaragua to help us document the trade and cover it. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience going there and what that was like, and how much tortoiseshell did you see as you were walking around the different markets?
Well, it was a pretty exciting experience because when Brad first asked us to go there and photograph this illegal market undercover, we were really nervous about it. And we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to get in trouble and get thrown in jail or whatever. I was researching hidden cameras and all this stuff to try to figure out how to film it. And when we got there, and the first place we went, which was in the Managua International Airport, we found turtle shell jewelry in the international airport.
Right next to the police.
Yeah, right next to the customs. So we knew this was prevalent and it was everywhere. And right from that point, I started taking photos with my regular camera and just pretending I was a tourist, because we were. And as we started traveling to different tourist destinations in the country, we went to about 5 different places that are kind of on the main tourist route around Nicaragua. And it turned out that we found turtle shell jewelry. And I would say of any shop that sold jewelry, it was probably about 3/4 of every shop that sold jewelry had turtle shell souvenirs in it. So essentially it was everywhere. The next shocking thing was that people weren't afraid to display it. And just for those of you who aren't familiar with tortoiseshell, you know, I'm sure you've seen the pattern before. I think Zoe has some turtle shell pattern glasses on. So so you recognize this pattern. We all love it and wear it because it's beautiful. But now in most of the world, it's made out of plastic, like these are. It's been made out of acetate. There you go. Oh, that's real stuff. Okay.
Real stuff, yeah.
So Brad's got an example of the real thing. So what is called tortoiseshell is made from sea turtle shell. So that's the whole issue with tortoiseshell. In most of the world, it's made of plastic, but in many places, it's still being made from sea turtle shell. So when we started spotting this stuff in the shops everywhere, the vendors were not shy about displaying it. It was wide out in the open, even though it's illegal across the country. Nobody was afraid to display it or sell it. So we started.
Like, even if we asked them, like, is this illegal to sell this sea turtle shell? And they were like, no, wherever. I don't know. Some people said, yeah, but it's not enforced. And some people said, well, I don't know. I just work here. And, you know, it was a mixture of, what can you do?
Yeah, so it was a little shocking to see how prevalent it is. And it's really aiming at tourists, but also domestically, there's a lot of buyers for it as well. Yeah. So we found it basically in every single tourist hotspot. So it really highlighted the issue of how important this is. As a traveler, if you go to Nicaragua or Costa Rica, and we can get to that in a minute, that if you see something that looks like turtle shell or looks like tortoiseshell, it probably is. You know, if it's jewelry, the odds are high. And of the dozens of shops that we found it in, only one person tried to tell us it was plastic. All the rest of them said it's carré, which is the hawksbill sea turtle. So there's no secret about it. It's sold in the open because the enforcement is spotty. And so the trade goes on unabated there. At least it was when we were there a few years ago.
Yeah, the one thing that we ask is that if the sea turtles, the hawksbill was hunted because of the meat, because then you can say, oh, okay, you know, people are eating them.
Yeah, you could claim it was a byproduct.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the
and
case.
Subsistence. And they also, everybody that we asked to, they said, oh no, the meat is too tough. We don't eat the hawksbill. We eat the green sea turtle. So it is something that I really want to make sure, like, that it is clear that it is not a substance.
Yes. Yeah.
Hunting is the hunting for the sea turtle. And we asked these vendors, like, well, where do you get these sea turtles? Oh, we find them dead out in the ocean.
More than one vendor said that they found the sea turtles dead
Like, how do you
that are
find it?
used for shells.
Yeah, so they don't really want to say that they hunt them, but oh yeah, it was dead, so we took the shell.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. What we hear sometimes too is that sometimes vendors will claim, or whether they believe this or not, that that oh, they take the shell, but the shell grows back, and it does not grow back. It's not good for the turtle in any way. They do not survive that. Yeah.
we didn't
So
get that answer.
yeah,
We didn't get that.
I've gotten that, and I'm sure Jose has heard that in some places. So Jose, so I want to talk to you a little bit about, since your work has been so much with involving local communities, if anyone has joined us for the trips that we've run to Padre Ramos in Nicaragua, which I think is one of the best examples of community-based conservation, and is work that, you and your former organization, Fauna and Flora, have done a really tremendous job with building, an incredible community-based program there. With this Sea Turtle Inclusivity Fund, we're doing scholarships. We're also going to help members of the local communities study sea turtles and advance their careers, because what ends up happening in a lot of these places is that groups from the outside will come in and start these programs, and local people will get jobs. It's kind of the basic grunt work, walking up and down the beaches and things, but there aren't always a lot of opportunities to become biologists, to become leaders, and to run these programs from the communities themselves. And so that's another thing that we want to do with this Inclusivity Fund. So can you talk a little bit about, why that's important, and what things that you have done in the groups that you've worked with to help promote community inclusion?
Yeah, well, I will go back to what Jay said at the beginning of his presentation, that conservation is about changing the hearts and the minds of people, right? And this is not a unipolar or unidirectional phenomenon. It's not that people coming from outside is going to change the mind and the heart of the people. It's like an interaction between people in both sides. It's both ways. And sometimes the big failure of conservation is we have been trying to impose the mind and the ways of people coming from outside, and not doing big effort to understand what is the perspective of local communities, right? So for example, the people that is hunting the hawksbill for the shell, it's true that it's not eating the turtles, and in that sense, it may not be subsistent. But it's true also that they may be poor fishers that need the income to satisfy basic needs, right? And there are many other issues that really takes time, take energy to understand, and to get the perspective and the empathy from the people that we can call is in the other side, to try to build a solution. And I think one of the best way to do that is what you were talking about, is just in gaining people from the communities to become conservationists, to become scientists, to become the leaders that will find the pathway for the solution that's for people coming from outside seem like a conundrum, right? And very difficult to find. So yeah, I think that's his approach, right? And it's a long-term work. It's not going to happen magically, but if we do not start in any moment, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Jose. So going back to Hal, Christina, real quick, and Zoe, if you can also come back. So we mentioned that you guys have started your new company, Truly Wild. Some of your shirts are going to be supporting our programs, which we're really appreciative of. And you said that you guys wanted to do a giveaway of Truly Wild. If you can just do like a real quick, like what is Truly Wild, and then Zoe can do another spin of the wheel to see who gets your shirts.
Cool, thanks. Truly Wild is an outdoor clothing brand that focuses on sustainable products, and we donate a portion of our funds to wildlife conservation. That's kind of our objective, is to support wildlife conservation. And we're doing some new fundraiser shirts this year that raise more money per item sold to specific projects, and Sea Turtles is one of them. We currently have 2 models that are donating $5 each to Sea Turtles. This one's the leatherback. We're gonna give away one of these.
Love it, it's beautiful.
And the other one is the hatchling tee, which to me represents a hatchling that is just been born, and she's looking back at her natal beach and using the geomagnetic signature to recognize it. So yeah, those are the 2 shirts that we're giving away.
And that comes from one of your photos.
Yes, the shirts are made in the USA, Mary. Thank you for asking.
I'll
Yeah.
post the link here real quick.
Oh yeah, the website is trulywild.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna give away one of each of these. You get to choose the size and the gender you want. We have men's and women's shirts.
Awesome. So I'll go ahead and share.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah, I need
For
to-
sure.
Again, here we go.
I need to send you back. Hold on. Are you still? No, wait. I need to.
I think we're good. As
Okay.
long as you guys can see it.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, the suspense.
Erin, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Erin. Erin is a college friend who works on water and sustainability issues. So congratulations, Erin.
Awesome.
All right, and one more.
One more. Okay.
All right.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, Christina and Erin, we will follow up with you for those shirts. Congratulations. And then
Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
yes. All right. Thank you. All right. And so, all right, Zoe. So let's do our last turtle tip, and we will do our final giveaway. Have you had a chance to add new donors to the wheel?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So you guys still have a few moments to get in there, to get in the last giveaway on the wheel. The link is in the chat box. And our third tip is to avoid purchasing turtle shells. So like we just learned about it, like kind of looks like this sort of. I can assure you this is from Glasses USA and not a turtle shell. But you can check out our guide on sea turtles to recognizing these products. You can sign the pledge and report it when you see it online or in person, or on the Sea Turtles website at seaturtles.org /too rare to wear, which I will drop in the chat box again. And keep your eye out for a new app that is coming soon, out later this year, hopefully. Amazing. And Brad has another guest.
Yeah, this is the same guest from earlier. Hello, this is Tig. All right, I'm posting a link there. Hal made a great video on how to recognize tortoiseshell, and we also created a guide. So that link, and we will send this all out afterwards as well. So how are we doing on our donations?
On our donations, I'm going to do a refresh, and I'll see if I have to add anyone new to the final wheel spin. We've got 70 donors. Thank you so much, everyone. We're at $4,480.
Excellent. Oh, we're getting close.
Yes. Okay. And everyone has been added to the wheel who's donated.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, webinar. Okay. So we're ready to share again?
Yes. One last giveaway for everyone who's donated tonight.
Giveaway.
Thank you so much to everyone. We really appreciate it.
Yes. And here we go.
All right. Yay. Okay, watch out, Kitty. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we got close to our goal. We just have a little bit more to go, and people can also donate afterwards. We will follow up, but we're really close to reaching that $5,000, and we're just about at our time limit. So I think, Nicola, I see your note. We'll figure out a way to get you a prize. We'll follow up after the event. So thank you so much for everyone who donated and gave tonight. Thank you so much to you, Zoe. You did a tremendous job as our co-host. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to Jose, Hal, Christina, Alex, Jay, and Ellen for the song. I think we're going to wrap it up there. But I'm sorry, we had one other question. Oh yeah, sorry, Mary. We had a question. Sounds like there's a lot of tortoiseshell on the market. Are there that many buyers? Good question. There are a lot of buyers. One of the things that we find is that people don't know what they're buying. You know, you see this laying on a market table or hanging up somewhere. If you don't know what carré or tortuga is, or maybe it's not adequately or accurately posted, that people buy it. You know, they wouldn't be selling it if people weren't buying it. So one of the things that we're trying to do with True Right Aware is to help end that demand for it, because if there's no demand, people aren't going to sell it. And so that's why we have our guides and this app that's coming out and stuff like that. So it's still sold in quite a few places, not just in Latin America. We have found a lot in Indonesia, China. There's a couple places in Africa, and so Grenada still has some. So it's found in a lot of places around the world. Okay, I see Nicola is asking to redraw since she's not based in the US. So Zoe, why don't we do one more draw? And Nicola, like I said, we'll figure out a way to get you a prize. We're sorry about that, but we appreciate that. But so let's do one more drawing, and then we will wrap it up for the night.
Okay.
All right, Kristen, congratulations. Yay. Wonderful. Okay, Kristen, so we will get you get in touch with you afterwards. Real quick, Hal and Christina, I saw there was a question about are the shirts made in the US?
Yes, they are actually. Almost all of our shirts are made in the US except our hemp shirts, because hemp isn't really commercially produced in the US very well yet. But all the fundraiser shirts are made in the US out of recycled polyester, which keeps plastic bottles from ending up in the ocean, and organic cotton. Yep, made in the USA.
Wonderful. Well, you know, we hope to have some information soon too. We may be delving into that plastic world here coming up soon. So that's something that we're looking into as a new program. Thank you so much, everybody. We will send out the link afterwards. We will follow up with you all. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who participated. And have a wonderful evening. And thank you all so much. We wouldn't be able to have been as successful as we are without all of your help. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Thank you all.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks, Alex. Good night, everybody.